Hello everyone. We're going to study how to use a reversible doll to tell a story today. And we're using the baby Moses doll, so this will be a Bible story. When baby Moses was born, there was a very, very wicked king in the country. He did horrible, cruel things to God's special people, the Israelites. One day that very cruel king said, "Right, all the baby boys that were born to God's special people are not allowed to live anymore." Baby Moses' mum, dad and big sister Miriam loved their baby and they didn't want anything to happen to him. So the next day, baby Moses' mum made a very special basket boat to float on the river. And then she and big sister Miriam carried the boat and the baby to the river. They put baby Moses in the boat and it went on to the river. Pretty soon, a lovely princess came down to the river. And she was a beautiful princess, and she saw that funny basket boat in there floating amongst the reeds, so she sent someone out to get it. And when they brought it back, she opened the lid, and what did she see? Well, you guessed it, little baby Moses. Oh my goodness, the princess thought he was such a beautiful baby. She even decided to keep him. So she got Moses' mum to look after him until he was old enough to live with her in the palace. When Moses got to be a little bit bigger, then he went to live in the palace. While he'd been at Mum's house, she taught him about God's special people and how cruel the king was. And then, when he went to live in the palace, Moses learnt how to look after people. But one day, when he wasn't a little bit bigger, when he was a big grown-up man, Moses went out to help. And he saw some really cruel things happening to God's special people. So he did something he shouldn't have done. And he was sorry, but he had to run away, and he wasn't allowed to live in the palace anymore. He's gone a long way, and he was gone a long time, and I don't know if he heard about the terrible things happening to God's people or not, but I know God did. And one day, God got Moses' attention and said, "Moses, I want you to go to that king and tell him to let my people go." And Moses said, "I'm scared, and I don't think that the king will listen to me anyway." And God said, "That's my problem, you just go." So Moses went to the king, and he had to go a few times. There were some adventures there I'd love to tell you about another time. And then, eventually the king said, "Right, you can go, take all those people with you, and you can have presents and gold and jewelry and anything you want, just go." So 2 million people got to go. But the next day, the king thought, "Oh, no, I shouldn't have done that. I want them to come back now." So he sent all his soldiers after them. And the soldiers chased them and chased them till they got right to the edge of the sea, and God's people didn't know what to do. But God said to Moses, "You just put that stick and you put it right out over the water." So Moses did that, and when he did, well then, there was a path, and all the people walked across the water. That was cool. But when they got to the other side, God said to Moses, "Put the stick down there, because we're going to close the water." And so Moses did what he said, and God made all the water mix up again together. They couldn't be chased anymore. And that's another big adventure. I want to tell you more about the story of Moses going across the sea, but not right now. Another adventure they had was that as they were going along, they came to a mountain. And God said to Moses, "I want all the people and the animals to stay down the bottom of the mountain, but I want you to come to the top because I'm going to give you something." So Moses went to the top of the mountain, and it was scary up there. There was thunder and lightning, and it was black and dark clouds. It was a scary place to be. But Moses went because he knew God would look after him. And up in that mountain, after many, many days, God gave Moses 2 special pieces of stone, and on the stone there was some writing. And God said to Moses, "This writing is special rules I want my people to obey. They're not cruel rules, they're good rules that will help everybody to live together and be happy." Moses thought that was so cool, and he said he'd be happy to teach the people the rules, and so he started walking down the mountain with the stone tablets. I want to tell you more about that too, but there isn't time here. Thank you for listening. Well, there you have it. It's pretty easy, isn't it, to use this particular doll to tell stories. At the bottom of the blog underneath here, you'll also find some suggested questions that will help the children to retain the memory and to tell the story themselves. Also, you'll see how easy it is to just check that your teaching methods have been learnt. Thanks again.